In the world right now, there are conflicts, disease, financial instability, climate change, and a seemingly endless list of evolving stresses. That being said, in a world where everything is negative and trying to pull us apart, there are many topics and events that unite rather than divide. Anthropology, known as the study of ancient human species, their cultures and livelihoods throughout their existence. Species like the Neanderthals. Now you're probably wondering, why should I care about a bunch of ancient hominins? Specifically with the Neanderthals, who are going to be the main focus of this discussion, but also true with every other human species, they're all extinct. All except for one, Homo sapiens. Now, Neanderthals and Homo sapiens were alive at the same time, in the same place, and at some points, even meeting each other. Yet, only a few thousand years down the road, and one is lost, only now to books and their bodies in museums. But it's one thing to say that fact. Yes, Neanderthals are extinct, and yes, Homo sapiens are alive. But why? In this harsh world, what characteristics allowed Homo sapiens to go on and become a global species, and the other to simply vanish? That is what I looked at, and that is what I will be attempting to answer for you today. After looking at both living habits of Homo sapiens and Neanderthals, I created 7 neutral characteristics. These were scalable food production, ability to live in a community, close contact with a full community, ability to survive harsh climate shifts, diverse diet, ability to create simple tools, and last but not least, ability to create complex tools. Focusing first on scalable food production, I found that this was something that Homo sapiens possessed due to their agricultural lifestyle, where at any point they could plant and store more crops than the Neanderthals, who were more focused on a hunter-gatherer lifestyle, where if there were no animals in the area, they could not hunt and therefore could not get food. Next, moving into ability to live in a community, I found that they both passed this test. However, when we go on to looking at living in a close community with full contact, I have to say that the Neanderthals, having to more closely rely and trust every single person in order to successfully hunt and survive, do pass this. Well, the Neanderthals, having more of an agricultural lifestyle, do not. Moving on to be able to process the skills required to create simple tools such as caving equipment and harnessing fire, both species pass. Nevertheless, when we get to the more complex topic of making complicated tools, the Homo sapiens have a clear advantage, while the Neanderthals struggle. Last but certainly not least, we have the ability to survive harsh climate shifts. This, in my opinion, is the most important because I determined that the most likely reason for the extinction of the Neanderthals was, in fact, a harsh climate shift. I believe that this boils down to the animals that the Neanderthals could hunt would either leave or die during these shifts, in turn making the Neanderthals die out, while at the same time Homo sapiens could use stored crops to survive. Overall, the Neanderthals had one trait that the Homo sapiens did not. They both had 2 traits, and Homo sapiens had 4 traits that the Neanderthals did not possess. I've always been interested in ancient human history and the extinction of previous human species. In my mind, when I was formulating a topic for this BaseF project, I thought that there would be no better story to tell than the one about the life and death of 2 species and their struggle to get where they were, leading me to this idea. One of my main difficulties for this project was formulating neutral questions that would not lead to a bias towards one species. This was overcome through constant research and reforming questions, checking with external sources, and repeating that process to find what I believe are the perfect fair character traits to look at. Finally, if I was to look at making my next steps for this project, I would quantify my results, looking at if one is more important than the other. And last, but certainly not least, I would like to thank my teacher, Miss Sibley, for all of the help and guidance that she's given me throughout this project. Thank you for listening.